Get ready for dictation, please. 5 seconds. Start. Sir, I rise today to participate in the debate on motion of thanks on President's address with a deep sense of disquiet. The sense of disquiet emerges out of the fact that while we are today debating Honorable President's address to the joint session of both the Houses of Parliament, lakhs of workers are outside on the streets of Delhi beseeching the Parliament of India to take remedial measures and to put the pressure on the executive, that is, the government, to redress some of their grievances. Lakhs of people are on the streets, sir. They have not come here out of any desire to see Delhi. They have not come here on any sightseeing. They left their families and travelled thousands of miles, and that is why I am raising this to be here in order to tell us that living conditions of our people are abysmally deteriorating. This government has achieved an impossible task. It has actually united all the trade unions across the spectrum. This is a task for which I would like to thank the government for having united all the trade unions. All of them have come together today to Delhi to raise their specific issues which are absolutely essential for the living conditions of our people. The President of India talks of a healthy and prosperous India, which is what her entire focus is about. A healthy and prosperous India is impossible without the workers and the exploited sections of our people's well-being being taken care of. Therefore, the sense of disquiet begins with this, sir, that while you have lofty declaration of intent in the President's speech, at the ground level, the living conditions of our people are getting increasingly deteriorating and more burdens are being put on them. That is why, again, with a sense of deep disquiet, I would like to say that this speech of the President of India, all of us know, is a customary address, a balance sheet that she gives an indication of what would be done by this government in future. But as Karl Marx had once said that history repeats itself, the first time it is a tragedy and then it is a farce. This repetition is not only in terms of the priorities that the President of India has outlined. Sir, this government is in a sense of stupor. The sense of stupor of the government is in the repetition in the President's address of the same opening sentence. The government is unable to make up its mind when the decade begins. It is an amazing thing. The President's speech actually reflects a directionless drift that this government has been gripped in, and I would come to the substantial points later. This is the sort of affairs that we have today. The President has outlined 5 priorities of her government. The 5 priorities are once again a repetition. The first one is to combat inflation and particularly to protect the common man from the impact of rising food prices. When this government took office in 2009, in an address to the joint session, the President says, "My government is firmly committed to maintaining high growth with low inflation, particularly in relation to prices of essential agricultural and industrial commodities." 2 years ago, you said the same thing and you say the same thing today. All of us know that the speech of the President of India is vetted by the Union Cabinet, and it is a text that goes from the government. So it is the Cabinet that is repeating itself over and over again over these years. What is that you are going to do in order to combat this inflation, sir? There is not one concrete step that is being given here in order to combat inflation. We would like to know whether they are going to ban speculation in essential commodities. It has reached to the tune of 15 lakh crores of rupees a year. The value traded in the forward trading and commodity exchange is today 1.5 times the value of your annual budget. Why would anybody put value in speculative trading unless he makes profit out of this speculative trading? On that, there is not even a word in the President's address. Unless prices rise, they cannot make their profits, and unless you ban the speculative trading, it is impossible to control this runaway inflation. Sir, this situation must change and our farmers must benefit. Animal husbandry and agricultural production must increase, wastage must reduce, inflation must decrease, and consumer should get quality products in cheap rates. If there is more production and more competition in the retail field, naturally prices will drop. And since India is a manufacturing hub and we have cheap skilled labor and natural resources, most of these companies are going to set up small scale manufacturing units in the country.